Is it hard to access affordable, healthy food? Then listen carefully. Daryl Addison, an African-American inventor, has patented a process for growing food on demand. He called it Torpedo Pot. Torpedo Pot is a fully automated flower pot that gives you control over your plant's environment. All you do is add soil, seeds, and plants to the flower pot and watch it grow. Yes, Torpedo Pot grows the rest. Visit www.torpedopot.com.
Hello everyone, it's me, Demetra Kaye of the Demetra Kaye Show here on YouTube and a proud contributor of the African Diaspora News Channel. If you could please do me a favor and subscribe to all channels and like this video, I would greatly appreciate it. So as you guys may know by now, President Joe Biden did sign the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act on the second anniversary of the death of George Floyd, who was murdered by police officer Derek Chauvin in 2020 when Derek put a knee to George's neck, resulting in his death, and the whole world saw it unfold on the videotape and all of that. Okay, and so this particular bill is not something we asked for. It was given to us to quell and quiet all the protests and things that were going on due to the murder of George Floyd. All right. And so in this bill, they were supposed to do a couple of things, but they did something totally the opposite, if you really ask me. So one of the things that was supposed to go on with this bill was getting rid of qualified immunity. Qualified immunity absolves police officers of any wrongdoing or being held financially responsible due to what they do to unarmed people, especially unarmed black people, right? Because they get the murder, if you will, under the guise of them being a police officer, right? Like it's our job type of thing. So they didn't get rid of qualified immunity. Another thing is that bill only applies to that of federal law enforcement. It doesn't apply to local police officers. So federal is like your FBI's, your border patrols, and things like that. People who operate on the federal level as far as law enforcement. Okay, and so it also says that, well, as far as like the chokehold and other austere methods of dealing with people, use that as the last resort. So they still give police officers the discretion as to whether they want to use it or not. And so they can still use a chokehold, right? And say, well, I had to do it. I couldn't think of anything else, so I had to do it. And so that bill kind of gives them more leeway, if you ask me, than before to get away with it, right? As we saw with that of Eric Gardner, who was choked to death there in New York over Lucy's cigarettes. The officer, he got away with it. They tried to hold him accountable, but he got away with it. So to me, this bill is going to give them more leeway to do it because, as I said, it still allows them to make the decision. Well, did you have to do it? Oh, yes, I had to do it. They were out of control. I couldn't, so I had to do it. So it gives them the permission, if you will, to still do it. Okay. Now, it does have a database that says, well, if a police officer is fired for misconduct, there'll be this national database that they'll go in. And so if they go look for another job, the other job can look and see if they're in there. But it doesn't forbid the other job from hiring them. It just gives them a tool to say, okay, well, I see that you choked out some black people in Ohio, but here in New York, you're good. We don't have a problem with it, right? So it doesn't outlaw them from hiring bad police officers. And again, back to the chokehold, it's a horrible thing. We've seen many of our people die at the chokehold of police officers, but again, it doesn't totally get rid of it. It has limitations on it. You know what I mean? And so this bill, for lack of better words, it's pure garbage. It's pure symbolism. And you know what else? They know most black people won't read it. They know that most black people will go on the talking points of the talking heads that they send out there to big up the bill. Oh, it's good. They signed the bill. But they know those Negroes, and it's mostly Negroes that they give a little bit of a butter biscuit or a check or whatever to go out to black people and say, oh, well, the Biden administration, they did sign the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, but they won't tell you exactly what it means. And the way it stands now, it means nothing for black people. If you ask me, black people are even in more danger due to this bill being signed because now they have a legal piece of paper that says, well, I used the best judgment I could and I have to do it, right? And they can legally get away with it. So it's garbage. Again, the Democrats did that. When you go to the midterms and the vote this election in November, think about the garbage that they continue to give us. Garbage with no substance at all. So anyway, y'all, for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra Kaye Show, here on YouTube. Peace.